Hey, what's up, everybody? Akamatsu today, and today we're going to be talking about tempo. So, tempo is a new mechanic that replaces reservoir in the layer 2 update. And well, I actually wanted to talk about it a little bit because I actually showed a bit of it off in my 1v1 in the stream earlier. So I was like, yo, why not review it? Why not make a little analysis and explain a little bit? So whenever you see me first initially begin the fight and get hit, right? Whenever I first get put in combat, it gives me like about 60-70% of my tempo. So whenever you get put in combat, you are given like a good amount of tempo. You know, that's kind of like your adrenaline, if you will. You know, you're starting off a fight. However, if you notice, over time, it slowly and slowly decreases. This is basically the basis of how tempo works. If you're not M1ing your opponent, your tempo will slowly decrease to 0. And the speed at which your ether regenerates is dependent on your tempo. So the more tempo you have, the faster it goes, right? So that means your ether regen is going slower and slower the less you don't M1 your opponent. So that means if you're like running away and spamming mantras, you're gonna run out of ether really quickly because frigid prisms don't work anymore. You have to go and actually M1 your opponent to get your ether to go back up to giving you ether again. Now, this is actually really good for people who just M1 and fight like normal. You know, your average player, your competitive player who just be M1ing and fighting like normal, because you're going to be getting constant ether, right? Since you guys are probably going to be parry trading, you're going to be hitting your opponent a lot. You're going to be getting a ton of ether, right? So that means you don't have to run away and use a frigid prism anymore in fights. You can just continuously fight, and I really love that. But for the guys who like to run the Ice Hero Blade builds, you guys are going to be struggling a little bit more because you can't just run away and use mantras. Unless, I will say, if you go pure 100 intelligence and like 90 charisma and focus on an ether build, you can actually like outdo the fucking... It's crazy. I want to talk about that though. I'll make a video about that later on. However, for the most part, for almost every single player, you got to M1 a ton. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, guys, I just want to talk about tempo. That's kind of really it about... That's it. That's really it. Like, it just replaces reservoir. It's a better reservoir for people who want to be more active. That's literally it. So, I'll be catching you guys later, and you guys have a good day. Peace.